So this is Dness and you're inside the mind of TE with Grow Daily.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So today is another episode of Grow Daily's brand new series, One to Watch, and you're joined by growdaily.co.uk. Today we have a guest, a very special guest, a friend of mine, someone who the whole of Grow Daily team, support musically. A music artist based in the UK. I wouldn't put him to a specific genre, and he goes by the name of Dness. TE, what's happening, my brother? How are you today, bro?
I was nervous to start talking.
How are you today, bro?
No, I'm good, man. Everything's good, man.
Nervous to start talking. You don't do many interviews. That's the first thing I wanna get out there. Why is that? Why don't you do many interviews?
I feel like I say a lot through the music. Interviews. I don't know. Like it's not on purpose. It's not that I stay away from interviews or anything. I just feel like I know I do a lot of talking. I release a lot of music, innit? So I feel like the interviews, they come far and few between, but when they do come, it's like obviously to say something, do you know what I mean?
Cool.
Yeah, man. Something
that and this is just something to get out of the way, almost kind of like an icebreaker, something about Grow Daily. Every conversation we have with individuals, whether it mean we go to their headquarters or they come to ours, it's always a natural conversation, a conversation that we would have off of camera, a conversation that we would genuinely have if I bumped into you in an event, if I bumped into you on the road, whatever it may be. The reason why, just to sort of give a backstory to this, why we've asked you to come on this platform today, because just to make it clear, it is something we asked you to do. You're an artist that stands for a lot more than just the music. I think you're aware of that. You stand for a message, you stand for a culture, you stand for a mindset, a type of UK artist, rather than just being another up-and-coming artist. I feel that you represent a mission. Would you say you own that? Is that something that you're aware of? Is that something that's news to you?
I don't own it enough, maybe, but it's something. Something I'm aware of, man. Like I've been doing music for a long time, and obviously, because I've been doing it for such a long time, I've seen things come and go. Like things come back in fashion. Like there's nothing new now that we haven't been experimenting with.
Musically.
Do you know what I mean? Musically, do you know what I mean? Everything that's in fashion now, like the type of music that people find popular, and like down to things like singing on tracks and things like that's nothing new. Do you know what I mean? We started out doing these things like over 10 years ago. So I don't know, man. Like I feel like maybe I could own it more. Do you know what I mean? Be more, like point out things to people. But I feel like hopefully when I do get that crossover moment, people look back at these things and be like, okay, like this was all warranted. Do you know what I mean? Like he earned all of this.
So cool. Talking about the journey, you said you've been doing music for quite a long time. And bear in mind with our audience, there may be people that are aware of you, maybe people that aren't. Let's take us all the way back, forgetting necessarily where music started. Where did TE start? I'm not gonna government name you on the platform, but where did TE start?
TE started, I think it was like late 2017. TE Dness.
Okay.
Like that name. Okay. But in terms of like,
you got me there.
In terms of music, like I started like just messing around with music when I was about 12 or 13. I mean, like obviously going to my brethren's houses to make tunes and that about 13 or 14. That was like grime days.
Where did life start for you then, taking you outside of the music?
Where did life start for me? I wasn't born here. I was born in Jamaica, Mandeville, Jamaica. A lot of people might not know that, but yeah, I was born in Mandeville, Jamaica. I came to this country when I was 6 years old.
Would you say you was there long enough for it to have an effect on you as a person?
Yeah, definitely. I was a high achiever from young. Like I'd be like top of my class and stuff. Like I still got memorabilia in my mum's garage of like being a high performer. Do you know what I mean? So I think like when people, brother's mad because when people say like things stem from young, innit? Like the hustle and the achieving and always wanting things like from young, from like being a kid in like what do they call it over there, prep school or something. Like man was top of my class, bro. Like I've got papers that prove this. My mum always reminds me. Do you know what I mean? And then when I came here, obviously went through nursery and these kind of things. Whatever, I think it was just after nursery, maybe like year 2, I think. something like that.
What
Yeah.
work ethic would you say you have? Would you say you're more of a work hard kind of artist, or work smart kind of artist? Because I think in the industry you're in, there's two very different types of work ethic.
For a long time, I've been a work hard artist for a very long time. But I didn't see it as working hard. I just saw it as doing what I wanted to do. You know, like it accumulates to hard work. But at the time, it doesn't feel like hard work.
Is that because you enjoy it?
Right. So it's just going back to things like enjoying that journey until you get there. Do you know what I mean? Because like my musical journey, 9 mixtapes deep or something like that. 8 or 9 mixtapes deep.
And that's over how long?
And I'd like 9-10 years. Okay. That's a tape a year or something like that.
Yeah.
So that accumulates to hard work. It sounds like hard work. You know what I mean? Because if you put it side by side with a lot of other people that have been doing music for the same amount of time, they might not have that. So it accumulates to hard work. The amount of time I've been in studio, it sounds like hard work, but at the same time, it's what I've wanted to do. It's what's made me happy. Like every year, I turn in my birthday in the studio more time and less. You know what I mean? It's a big birthday.
So it doesn't feel forced for you.
Yeah, it's just fam. Like it's not something that I didn't see it as a work ethic. Yeah. That's only being that, you know, when you learn that, okay, you have a work ethic. Yeah. Like you don't, until like it's like a kid doing something, they don't really know it until you tell them like this is what you're doing. Like when the kid's shaking their thing, you're like, all right, you might be a dancer because I see you have rhythm, and they don't know until you tell them. Like, so until I learned that, bro, like going to studio almost every night and spending 10 hours in the studio, spending a week in the studio with your boy and all these things, this is hard work. Do you know what I mean?
How
so it's just normal, bruv.
Because you sound like you're pretty much like I always say there's lots of different types of artists, and there's some that are lab rats and there's some that just have like a moment that just takes them away straight away, wherever it may be. You're obviously saying you're a lab rat. How have you been able to stay focused on being a lab rat for 9-10 years? And obviously we're going to get onto the position that you're in the music industry. But how have you managed to stay so dedicated to that in a day and age where, whether it be money, whether it be just life, whether it be looking the part, whatever it is, girls, whatever could distract you from just being on this craft? It's not a common thing, especially in the generation you're in. So how have you managed to keep that?
Just loving music, fam, overall. Like see what it is like a lot of people use music as a hustle. Like they do other things and then they say, right, you know what, let me just do this music thing. Like they know how to hustle, they pay their way through, and that's cool. Like there's a lot of things that you can do when you don't have as much like dignity, or you don't have an end goal. Like you didn't see it from like you didn't have like a long-term goal with it. Do you know what I mean? Like back in the day, like rap was supposed to make us rich. It wasn't like get rich and then turn to rap to show off that you're rich. You know, like you know what I mean? So it's like my whole thing of sticking to it is just that, bro, there is no end. Yeah. That's like, this is what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? Like this, so like in a sense, like I am living my dream. Do you know what I mean? Okay. In a sense, like
so the whole journey for you is the dream.
Is the dream. Do you know what I mean? Go studio, you make music. You know what I mean? Earn money off your music. You're doing this, you're doing that. But you just build on what it is. Obviously, you make more. You do more. You take away these other things from your life. Now it's just music, and this becomes a priority. Do you know what I mean? But the journey is the dream, fam. Like you have to, like once you get it, you have to have something to look back at and say like, yo, this was sick. Do you know what I mean? Like that is the dream. Like if you don't, like it's like, that's why it's mad, because you gotta think like, I've just released a song, I'm big overnight. It's like, I'd even grind for this. It's like, what do you actually look back at? You just stepped in the studio once. Do you know what I mean?
Would you say that? Because I think it's going to be easy for someone who's had that situation to think, you're putting a negative tone on it.
Yeah, nah,
would
no
you
way.
Say if that situation, because we've actually got a few questions that were asked to ask you, and one of them similar to this, would you say that if that opportunity came to you to go like that, you wouldn't take it?
Like I don't know. Like it depends, innit? Like if it's a respectable situation, yeah. Like don't get me wrong, I'm not talking down on anyone has to get that. Like bro, hustle this thing, fam. If your plan was,
but is it a hustle for you?
Nah, but if there's somebody out there hustling it and their angle was, yo, I'm just here making some bread, I don't care about music, bro. There's nothing wrong with that. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of men that are playing football that don't care about football, bro. They're just getting paid a few quid a week, and do you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is just like, it takes longer for a reason. Like you have like the journey. I feel like man just have to embrace the journey in it. If it's taking longer, you just have to embrace that. Like if it happens overnight, that's sick. If you can maintain it, that's even better. Because when it happens overnight, it's harder to maintain. People look back and they wanna see a story, and then people are running around trying to make a story, create a fake story. It's like, oh, where did you come from? It's like there's nothing else apart from this overnight bang. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I think it's
so
also
I
important.
just embrace that. That's all it is.
It's important to not focus on how long it's taken as well. To just stay focused on where you want to take it to.
Yeah.
In your industry, you're obviously, and it's something we're gonna go through shortly. I don't like to put people's achievements on who they've worked with, because I think that's not really the achievement. You don't get into music to be able to say I've worked with 25,000 people and they're all the best people. But obviously it's a part of the journey, and you've definitely been in a position where you've worked with a lot of the high flyers. I have conversations with people about you as an artist, and it's often that you say certain things, or maybe like certain songs you've got, certain artists you've worked with, or certain things you've achieved, and it's like, oh, for real. And what I've come to learn from that is that there's several reasons which I'm going to get into with you shortly, but what I've also come to learn is that what you've achieved is you've only begun, but the stuff you've achieved at what you've begun to other people is seen as a highlight, but then there's some people that just overlook it maybe because of who it's come from. So for example, you've worked with the likes of Stormzy, C-Biz, Six, just Scorcher, just to name a few people that you've worked with, are all very well-known artists. Now, why is it, firstly, what is it that you would feel allowed you to work with those artists?
I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna do this on camera as well, so you lot know that we're sitting here
and it's hot,
and we're having a real interview, and it is hot.
100% raw. Is that working?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
What is it that you would say has got you in a position to work with these artists first and foremost?
Well, a lot of these artists, first of all, are just people that I met before they were in the position that they were in. So. When, for example, Stormzy, I met Stormzy before Stormzy is Stormzy now. I mean, when he was first doing Stormzy, not the way beginning, but do you know what I mean, before the big bang, do you know what I mean? So it was just like, just being around each other, fam, and just having that mutual love for music, and just being like, yo, G, we're on the same, like, I just want the same things, do you know what I mean? Just want to do sick music. And that's what it was for a lot, like, for everyone, for all the names you said. I think it was just being around them. Obviously, a couple people was obviously through mutual powers and that. But I think it's just being around people and just knowing that, yo, I make music, bro, and this is what I actually do. Like, it's not a joke. Do you know what I mean?
For a lot of people, being around the table but not owning the table, which is a metaphor that I often use, and then seeing other people go on to start their own tables, it can be quite frustrating. A lot of people in any field, like, you could be working in a sales job and see someone come in and be pretty much the same ability as you, but go on to do major things, and then you remain where you are, or you progress by a much slower pace. How have you dealt with that? Because I know that takes a lot of patience and a lot of other things. What would you say is that's allowed you to deal with that?
I just, like, with me, I just never look at anyone else's journey, innit? Like everything happens at the time it's supposed to happen at. Nothing's gonna happen before its time. If it happens before its time, then there's a lot of other things that need changing around that one thing to make it keep that sustainable. Like, and that's, you see that every day. Do you know what I mean? It's like, raw, like, you didn't know you was gonna blow overnight, and like, you went to a bloody reality TV show, and now you've got this success, and you haven't got the right. Do you know what I mean? Like, the whole, everything else has to shift around that. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, bro, I just stay focused on the journey, enjoying the journey, and what my life is supposed to be, innit? I don't know, man, and I take inspiration from people doing their thing. Do you know what I mean?
Cool. Listening to your music, going all the way back to Call It What You Want, all the way up to now, like, I find that one of the main things that stands out to me is there's been a lot of pain, there's been a lot of experience, there's a lot of pain, like, and I don't even say that in a negative way, because it's not like hate life and life on the block is, you're definitely not that kind of rapper. There's more pain that I think is relatable to your everyday person,
Yeah.
like real life pain, family experiences, financial experiences, like between Jamaica and here experiences, just stuff that people can relate to more than just money. You don't just talk about being broke, being hard, life's hard.
Yeah.
That pain, firstly, would you agree and say that that's a big part of your music?
Yeah.
Why would you say that's such a big part of your music?
Because it's a big part of my life.
And the things that have happened in your life that have led up to that place, what have you taken from them?
I don't know, man. I don't know. See, with everything I reference in my music, like all this, like the stuff I talk about, obviously family references and I mean financial references and all of these kind of things. It's all like things that I go through. That's why I said like I feel like I'm moving into a new chapter. Like every time I'm like doing something, it's like, oh, this body of work, this is how he was feeling at this time. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, so it just stems from life. It's just real life. Like, I don't know, because see, you asked me why don't I do a lot of interviews, and I feel like that's it. Like it goes to the music, innit? So if I'm going through something in my life, it's like I'm gonna say it in the music. Do you know what I mean? So, bro, like life is hard. Life isn't Instagram, innit? Life isn't. It hasn't got a filter. It's not sick. So if life's sick, I put that in the music. Like, oh, I just did this. Me and the man them did. Whoa, yeah, like, you know what I mean? I copped this. I did that. Put that in the music. Like, bro, I can't find rent. This is hard. This is low. This guy's messed up. This is going hard. This chick's like. You gotta put that in the music as well, family. You're not, you know what I mean? Or else I got no way to vent. Like, I'm not a man that sits there and talks to a lot of people, bruv. Like, if I don't vent to my mic, like, no one's gonna hear it. You know what I mean? The mic has to hear it first, man, and that's how I hear it. And I know what I'm going through myself, and I keep my sanity, fam. I just feel like that's what it is. Like, overall, it's a memoir, innit, to myself, really. Like, all the pain, man.
There's something you said there that I was gonna get onto, which is you don't really vent to many people. Like, obviously, I'm aware of that, being that we've obviously got a friendship off camera, and it's something that I think a lot of people probably are aware of, even if they didn't know you personally. It's quite evident, like where you share your stuff is all in your music. It's you make your fans feel like they're with you every single day. What is it what made you like that? Why don't you share to loads of people? Why don't you have a confidant or someone that you will go to when it comes to those kind of things? What made you like that? Because something definitely made you like that. You're not born like that.
I know what made me like. It's just how I grew up. Like a lot of the important years that I was supposed to spend building friendships and learning how to have conversations and, you know what I mean, dressing accordingly and eating right at the dinner table and, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm being real, like, like the things that you do as an adult, fam, as a normal adult going into the system. Like, it's like I broke free from that at a very early age, bro. Like, I'll admit it. Like, I was never gonna do what everyone does, innit? Like, the whole, even from the get-go when teachers were telling me like, you're too smart to be in my class, like that's my situation in high school. It's like, you're too smart to be in this class, to a point where teachers are having to vote, right, are we going to move him up a year? And then they decided, no, we're not moving him up a year. And I was like, right, cool, I'm not getting class then. Okay, if I'm sitting there and embarrassing teachers, like, bro, these, like, the reason I turned to music so early is because I was frustrated with people telling me, yo, you have to learn this, and it's like, you're not even teaching it to me right. I used to leave my class and go write music. Anyone can vouch for that. That's why I turned to music so early. Cause like, why am I sitting in the class when I know more than you? I've just made the whole class laugh at you because I've corrected you, and now the conversation is, right, he's too smart for the class, but you don't want to move me up because I've embarrassed you. So you're gonna hold back my future. Like, this is my situation. This is me explaining. This is my high school, Barnhill. Like, a lot of the students don't even know these things, but a lot of them do know. Do you know what I mean? These are things people can vouch for. Like, that was my situation in high school. Like, are we gonna move him up? No, but because I want to be cool in these things, I'm embarrassing teachers. And at the time, it's cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm smarter than you. I'm young. And I'm thinking, right, this is cool. I've embarrassed you. You don't want to move me up a year. You're holding me back now. And it's like, why am I going to class? I just missed out education altogether after that. Like, it was a myth. It was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna be Dizzy Rascal, fam. Like, do you know what I mean? At the time, like 13, 14, I love you. I'm walking through my corridor, like, I love you. These are the times this is dropping on Channel U and these things, you know what I mean? So it's just like, bro, I'm not coming to class. I'm just gonna be dizzy, fam. Like that was my real life, bro. Like that was it. That was real life, fam. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man. That was it.
So all of that for you just always turned to music now.
Yeah, like everything. I put it all in the music, fam. Everything that happens to me, I put it all in the music, fam. Like when my life changes, the music has to change. That's why I feel like that's a gift and a gift and a curse, though, because people want to hear. A lot of people want to go to an artist for one feeling or one type of sound. I feel like because I go through things, it might get confused. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like that's a gift and a curse, fam. Because like I might drop something and like, oh, this is sick. Then I'll drop something else and it's like, bro, whoa.
So do you
know what I mean?
Do you think for people to take to you, you have to come through with one type of sound?
No, they'll take to me quicker. Like, but these are things I know though.
Yeah.
And it's like.
But do you think you overthink these things, or is it something that when you say like, do you think you overthink these things?
Do I think I overthink it?
Yeah. Like what makes you so certain of that?
Because it's proven in everything around me and everybody I speak to that's successful. It's like, alright, cool, you got to dumb down the music at certain times to do easy things. Like a lot of the men that are doing good, it's all easy, repetitive stuff. These are things that are done strategically to try and win crowds over. These are things that a lot of people know that we just don't do. Like we don't go in the studio to dumb our stuff down and try and make a hit. It's like, bro, I made this one. This sounds sick. It might be the one. If it's not, you gotta go again, bro. It's not dumb this down and wait till it is a hit and everyone says it is, and then it. Do you know what I mean? It's, bro. It's just having that. Like, how do you explain it, bro? It's like there's no rush in it, and you can't force it. I just feel like if you force it, it's like along the line, something's gonna hit you. Like, bro, how did you get here? You know what I mean? Like along the journey, it's gonna be like, hold on, you gotta go pay your dues back there. That's why, like, brother, right, brother, and it will come back to you, bro. And these are things that I believe in, fam. Karma's a real thing, fam. Like, karma's always come back to me, and I feel like I just gotta be aware of that. And obviously, I'm aware of that in my music as well, and how I decide to do my music. I feel like I do it. I just have dignity, a lot of dignity when it comes to my music, innit? Like, sorry, before we move on.
That's cool. Go on.
This is what happens though to a lot of people, and it did happen to me. Almost happened to me, where you get lost, and you try to make a certain type of music to try and, cause it's like, oh, this is what everybody wants to hear. Let's go down there, but then you just realize like this is not for me.
When would you say you did that?
When would I say I did that? Around repping.
Somebody asked me what I do today, I said rapping. Somebody asked me what I do today, I said rapping. Somebody asked me what I do today, I said rapping. I know you're bad way, alright, hold on, bad way, hold on a second.
Repping, I kind of step back, but it's not. But again, it's nothing I haven't done before.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
So this is where it's mad, because this is where I'm just covered it all bases. Because like, bro, nothing I do I haven't done from the jump.
Go back to Dutch Club time.
From the jump, right? So it's but I feel like more at that time I reverted to it because it's what came back in fashion. Does that make sense?
So when you're feeling low, find yourself.